van was thick with the smell of pine and damp earth, a scent I usually found comforting. Tonight, however, it felt suffocating. I'd driven deep into the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest, far from any established campgrounds, seeking the solace of true isolation. My phone had lost signal hours ago, leaving me with only the hum of the engine and the growing darkness outside. I'd been drawn to this particular spot by a whisper on an online forum, a mention of an abandoned fire lookout tower, forgotten by time and shrouded in local legend. The drive had been treacherous, a rutted track that tested the limits of my all-wheel drive. When I finally arrived, the tower loomed against the bruised twilight sky, a skeletal silhouette against the gnarled pines. It was dilapidated, paint peeling like sunburnt skin, windows gaping like empty eye sockets. As I parked and killed the engine, an unnatural quiet descended. The usual symphony of nocturnal forest sounds, the chirping of crickets, the rustle of unseen creatures, was absent. It was a profound silence that pressed in on my eardrums, making the beat of my own heart seem impossibly loud. I decided to venture closer to the tower, armed with a flashlight and a growing sense of unease. The ground around the base was littered with fallen debris, branches twisted like petrified limbs. As I shined my light into the tower's open doorway, a faint metallic odor, like old blood mixed with rust, wafted out. Then I heard it, a low, guttural scraping sound emanating from within the tower. It was rhythmic, deliberate, like something large and heavy being dragged across stone. My instinct screamed at me to retreat, to scramble back into the perceived safety of my van. But a morbid curiosity, a foolish defiance, kept me rooted. The scraping stopped. A moment of tense silence. Then, a single, sharp crack echoed from the upper levels of the tower, followed by a cascade of debris that tumbled down the metal staircase. My flashlight beam danced wildly as I instinctively backed away, my breath catching in my throat. Suddenly, a voice, distorted and raspy, slithered from the darkness within the tower. It wasn't human. It was a wet, tearing sound, punctuated by rasping breaths that seemed to suck the very air from my lungs. The words, when they finally coalesced, were nonsensical, a chaotic jumble of whispered pleas and guttural curses. "Find the offering," it rasped. "The hunger knows." Panic seized me. I turned and ran, the treacherous ground doing little to slow my desperate flight. Behind me, I heard the sound of heavy, uneven footsteps descending the tower's stairs, a sickening clatter that pursued me through the trees. I could feel a malevolent presence, a tangible weight in the air, pressing in on me. I fumbled with my van keys, my fingers numb and clumsy. As I finally wrenched the door open, a shadow detached itself from the tree line, impossibly tall and gaunt, its form indistinct in the failing light. Its eyes, if they were eyes, glowed with a faint, phosphorescent green. I slammed the door shut, the sound swallowed by the unnerving silence. I started the engine, tires spinning in the loose dirt as I lurched backward, desperately trying to escape the suffocating darkness of that place. As I careened down the rutted track, I glanced in my rearview mirror. For a fleeting moment, silhouetted against the dying embers of the sunset, I saw it, standing at the edge of the tree line, its form still distorted and unnatural. It watched me go, a silent, predatory sentinel in the heart of the shadowed woods. I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that I had stumbled upon something ancient, something hungry, and that it would not be easily forgotten.